nothing made sense. It wasn't a legal suite, so there was no fire separation, there was no glazing requirement. He DIY'd, he did his framing by himself without the drywall. He didn't know about the fire separations. He had to revise the drawing and make the whole wall, every wall, into fire separation wall. Welcome back, guys. This is Tim from T.K.Contracting. We are at Chippewa Accessory Dwelling Unit ADU site, and there's so much things going on right here. We have basement walkout. We're in process of digging. We're making 2 windows bigger, and we're actually making 2 more windows. Now, for accessory dwelling units, this is not an optional thing. We have glazing requirement that is set by the city, so we need certain amount of sunlight coming into the bedroom and living room, those living spaces, in order to get the permit approved. Let's go inside and have a look at it. So for a legal suite, an accessory dwelling unit, you need permit. And once you get the permit, you have to print it out and locate it on the front of the house so everybody can see it. A thing about permit, everybody has a lot of questions about permit. So city, architect, engineer, inspectors all have different opinions about building code. And if you don't have experienced architect, it's really hard to go through. One of my clients in Niagara Falls, he had a hard time with our architects. He had his own architecture firm to make a drawing for him, and then when he passed it to me, when I looked at it first time, nothing made sense. It wasn't a legal suite, so there was no fire separation, there was no glazing requirement. So I asked him if this was true. If it is, I'll do it for the personal basement price, not the legal basement price, because there's a big difference in price difference. And apparently we asked the city, we asked the architect, the whole thing was wrong. So what he did was he contacted the mayor, Jim Diodati, mayor of Niagara Falls, and he connected him to Luciano, which is the head of the building department in Niagara Falls. And he connected him to another architecture who's supposed to be experienced at this thing. But apparently the second drawing, when we got it, it was all wrong too. We got the permit, but everything was wrong. So I had to call the inspector, drawing examiner. So when I called them, it's really hard to reach them too, because they're barely in the office, because they're a building department. When I was able to reach him, he went through the drawing with me, and he admitted that the drawing was overbuilt and wrong in some ways. So we were able to adjust things. But we have to be careful when the inspector comes to inspect the site, when the drawing and the real construction is different. It all depends on the inspector. Some inspectors can just write a letter saying that this is okay, this is up to building code. It's different from the drawing, but there's no problem with it. So if he writes a letter, that's the best case. Sometimes they ask for a revision. If it's a small change in revision, it only takes about a week to change them. But if like the worst case, you might have to do the whole drawing again. Some custom home specialized architects are good at custom homes, but they don't really know too much about legal suite, accessory dwelling unit additions and stuff, and vice versa. So you really want to find an architect that is experienced, has experience, and specializes in what you really want to do, not the ones with best Google review. So this is the back side of where we just were. So there's going to be the new door here. And with the excavator, we're going to dig down and make a stairway. So from the side, the new tenant can come in from the side, go down the stairs, and come into this area. So when you make a basement walkout, you really need to take care and be careful with the drain, because if you don't do that when it rains, and here it rains hard, recently it rained a lot. When it rains, you can flood with poor drainage, and the water will come into the basement and damage the whole new basement. And main difference with legal suite and personal basement would be fire separation, which is very hard topic to talk about because they all have different requirements for municipality, architect, city, inspectors. But the most common thing would be these 5/8 drywall on top of the wall. So what these do, it allows for this wall to be separated from upstairs unit. So when there's a fire in the basement, the fire goes into the wall, and then when it starts burning toward up, that drywall will slow it down from spreading to the main floor. So we have to have that drywall set, otherwise you might have to fire separate the whole exterior wall and interior walls. That's what happened to our client in Fort Erie. he DIY'd, he did his framing by himself without the drywall. He didn't know about the fire separation, so he framed everything. Inspector came in and saw that there was no drywall fire separation above the framing, so he had to revise the drawing and make the whole wall, every wall, into fire separation wall, which is double 5/8 in most cases, with the resilient channel in between and a single 5/8 on the other side with the insulation in the middle. So this one we started about late March. We started the paperwork, and then we asked the architect if we could start the framing before we get the actual permit, because we knew it's going to take long. So we got the approval. We finished the framing, we cut out the concrete to see what we have to work with, and once we were done, we had to wait about 2 more months to get the actual permit. Now we started 2 days ago, we resumed 2 days ago. We're now excavating for the basement walkout, for the new window. This blue square is going to be the new window, and there's going to be another new window, and this window will get bigger to meet the glazing requirements set by the city. And to do that, it will take us about a week. Basement walkout will take an extra longer, and the whole project from the beginning to the end, because we started in late March and we're expecting to go until maybe mid or late September, it will be about 5 to 6 months in total. So the budget, the cost wise, it will be starting from $65 to $75 per square footage for the fire separation, framing, drywall, painting, flooring, so basic finishes. But one thing different about it is the kitchen and bathroom, because there are a lot of options, and there some people might want 2 bathrooms, so we separate that from our main base fee of the basement unit, legal suite. So that does not include the paperwork, permit, architecture fee, engineering fee. In total, this one we spent about $5,000–6,000 for architectural fee and the permit. We're going to be filming the journey of this construction. So if you're interested in real estate investment, or if you have a basement that you're not using that you want to rent out, then follow us, subscribe us, so you can follow us with the next videos that we're going to go through every steps, every stages of the construction. We're going to talk about what basement legal suites require that a lot of people miss. So follow us and subscribe us. If you like the video, click the like button, and see you next time.